5 things successful people do in their space that you can apply to your space today to up-level your space and in turn up-level your life. I'm Jeanette Zizikowski, your go-to Feng Shui consultant. On a daily basis, I'm working with the motivated, the inspired, the go-getters who are working so hard to dress for success, to work out and look nice, who want to present themselves so that they look successful. I work with them behind the scenes on their space, on upgrading their space so it matches the level of success that they are looking to achieve. In this video, I'm sharing with you 5 things successful people do to their home that you can also apply to your home. And stick with me because the last one is one you probably often overlook. Your space is a reflection of you. What you have going on in the inside is going to be reflected in on the outside. Have you ever noticed that when you are most overwhelmed, you're often saying things like, the kitchen is a mess, I have laundry everywhere, there's so many piles, there's so much to do, I can't think straight. Your brain is cluttered and your space is cluttered. What about those people that you interact with and you're like, man, they really seem to have it all together? What do their homes look like? What do their spaces look like? Let's get the most common cliche one out of the way first. You've heard this before, successful people make their bed in the morning. Have you ever wondered why the self-help books or the YouTube videos 5 Habits of Successful People, why it's always preaching to make your bed in the morning? There really are many benefits to making your bed first thing in the morning. First, you're accomplishing something very early in the morning. You're getting a quick win. You're getting that momentum of I'm getting things done. You're getting one of those done first thing in the morning, which helps your energy, which builds that momentum. Especially for certain human design types, this actually is a good trigger to produce good energy and attract good energy for the rest of the day. The second benefit to making your bed in the morning is your space looks put together. Think about the mornings that you get up and you put on a nice dress, you put on makeup, you get out of those sweats and you put on a suit and you're excited to take on the day. You have a little bit more pep in your step, you have a little bit more charm, you kind of bump into the right people, or you have better side conversations throughout the day. Maybe you find some money lying around. Making your bed in the morning is just like giving it a nice outfit. Your space is a reflection of you. Therefore, if your space looks good and feels good, you're going to look good and feel good. The bed is the focal point in the bedroom, so if it's made up nice, it transforms the whole space and makes all those other little piles less of a distraction. And speaking of those little piles, when your bed is made, there's less visual clutter. When there's less visual clutter, if your mind is already cluttered, it's distracted by the exterior clutter, and that's just a vicious cycle of I don't know where to think because there's so much going on in my head. I don't know what to do next because there's so much going on in my space. So making your bed reduces that visual clutter, which gives you more space to breathe and gives your brain less things to focus on and space for clarity and inspiration to come in. The second thing successful people do that you can do is organize your workspace. Now, if this is already shooting off alarm bells, Jeanette, I get it. I'm supposed to declutter my whole house. I know it'll make me feel better, but I'm overwhelmed and I can't do it right now. Yes, a decluttered space is a decluttered mind, but what I'm talking about is what the people see first. If you're working from home, if you're working via Zoom or through a camera most of the days, what is in that visual space that other people see? If you're working in person, what's right at your desk? It's very easy to conceal clutter behind you in a box. People will still notice, but what's at the desk that's in between you and the customer, in between you and the client, in between you and your boss? And the same goes for what is in your camera frame. If you want people to respect you, be impressed by you, think you're successful, it will help to get rid of the piles of receipts, the post-it notes everywhere, the piles of to-dos and projects in a cluttered mess. If it's an organized table, people will think you are organized, people will think you have your stuff together. It will give off a good impression. And speaking of what's in your camera frame, did you know that I help people design and decorate their Zoom backgrounds? I help people set up their desk space and what is seen in the background so that they look more professional, so that they give off that great first impression when they're working with their clients, talking to their boss in meetings, or even just with their coworkers that they want respect from. This is something you can reach out to me if you'd like to work with me on that, but I've also created a video here on YouTube how to create a professional looking Zoom background, so you can start with that video. Okay, to continue on what successful people do to their space, it's no fault of anybody's that we kind of judge people by first impressions. It's in our DNA, it's just how we work. I'm not gonna get into the science of it. The point is, first impressions matter. What is at your desk? What is in your video camera screen that is giving the people you work with a first impression? So point number 2 is successful people have a clean workspace, especially a part of their workspace that everybody sees. A third area that successful people focus on is their bathroom, specifically their counter space or their medicine cabinets. If you're a subscriber to this channel, then you know that I recently moved into my grandmother's home after certain family events, and I'm here to upgrade it and make it a successful space. And if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and take this opportunity to subscribe now, because I share with you Feng Shui and mindset tip videos that help you up-level your life and help you transform a life that you maybe tolerate into a successful one that you treasure. So here in this home, my grandmother had so many boxes and containers and compartments that were lower level, that were reachable. The woman was 90, she needed easy access, and she needed convenience, and that makes sense for a 90-year-old. I doubt many people watching today are 90. If you are, welcome, and guess what? You get to do whatever you want. You've earned it. For the majority of you who are not 90, who are here to create a successful space to complement your successful life, clean up your bathroom. This is where you set the tone for the day, and this is where you end your day. Arrange your space to be efficient in the morning. You're an important boss. You're a successful employee. You're an important person with important things to do. You should not be starting your mornings playing Jenga with the boxes in the cabinets, knocking over and weeding through all the excess bottles and things of toothpaste and cups, and you should not be wading through all these bottles that are creating a mess. You likely present yourself very well and have a skincare routine or some kind of morning regimen. Get your bottles out in that skincare routine. 1, 2, 3, toothbrush, boom. Don't overcomplicate it. You've already got a lot on your mind, so get rid of those samples, get rid of the excess bottles, at least put them under the sink for a rainy emergency day. You don't need to have everything you own displayed on your counter. You do not need everything you own to be in your cabinets. What do you need every morning, first thing? If you start your day frazzled, knocking over bottles, it's all falling, and you're just like, oh, screw it. I'm gonna just put some water on my face, splash it, and get going. I don't have time to do all this or pick all this up. Not setting the tone for a successful day. Successful people keep their spaces to a minimum. They have exactly what they need on their counter, in their cabinet, so they have an efficient morning and can get going to accomplish whatever successful thing for that day they're going to accomplish. Make it easy for you to stack your wins. We're stacking a win by making the bed first thing in the morning. You're stacking a win by keeping your desk clear and looking good in Zoom. You're stacking a win by keeping your bathroom tidy. Really, the office desk and the bathroom should be reversed, but here we are. Next, we have number 4. What's going on at your front door? Think back to those first impressions. Your space and your home are a reflection of you. They are the first impression. If your home is an impression of you, then the front of your home, your front door, is truly the first impression that other people see, that neighbors see, that clients see if they come to your home, that coworkers see if you have them over for dinner. Your front door, the front of your home, is the first impression. Now, this is a whole other video in itself. I created a short clip here. Is your front door blocking your prosperity and abundance? Go check that out after this video. In this video, what I will say is really the big one that's always distracting is, what is the vegetation like around your front door? Are the plants kept up? Are they alive? Do they look good? If they don't look good and you can't keep up with them, get rid of them. You don't necessarily need to have plants or luxurious shrubs around the front door if you can't maintain them. This is an analogy that I like to use. Think about all of this overgrown shrubbery and all these overgrown plants that block the front door. That's like the equivalent of having really scruffy bangs blocking your eyes. When you talk to somebody, you make eye contact with them. When you approach somebody's house, you're looking for the front door to enter the front door. What's the impression you get when somebody has bangs covering their eyes and you can't make eye contact with them? think about what your front door is saying. Another way to approach this is your Amazon guy happy to deliver packages to your door? I have a funny story. So when I started my business, it wasn't producing enough income right away for me to cover all of my expenses, so I got another job. I started working for a high-end delivery driving service, and part of that was I was driving around well-to-do people, but I was also delivering things that they needed: chocolate, packages, food, dry cleaning, whatever. As a Feng Shui consultant, I was obviously comparing homes. I was looking at the fronts of all the different kinds of homes and seeing what some successful people were doing and what other people weren't doing. And let me tell you, as the person who needed to deliver the box, who needed to go to the front door to pick something up, to drop something off, I felt nervous and uncomfortable approaching any of these doors that were poorly lit, that were overgrown. I didn't know what was going to happen when I walked up to that door and got past the first few hedges or the first few shrubs, like what was waiting for me on the other side. There was a lot of homes where I was like, I'm dropping this thing and running. A dirty front door, an overgrown, unkept front door is going to attract that lower vibe, not very helpful energy. Something clean, something upkept is going to attract the good, abundant energy. Now, don't mistake me. This does not mean that you need to be rich. This does not mean you have to have a fancy home. This does not mean you have to have the most expensive front door. It really comes down to how clean is it? How maintained is it? Is it open for good, nice, happy flowing energy to come? Or is it dark and dingy and there's piles of wet leaves in places? What's the impression of the state of your home giving off? Not when it comes to fanciness or expensiveness. Start with cleanliness. Successful people have a welcoming, clean front door. Okay, our last tip, one that you're probably overlooking or just we've gotten so desensitized to that you don't even think about it. First, before I share with you that tip, comment below which one you're like, okay, yeah, I need to go give that space an upgrade. Which area are you most excited to go upgrade? Here's the last space that successful people pay attention to, and probably the one they pay attention to more than the other four. Successful people always keep their car clean. Picture this with me for a moment. Close your eyes and imagine you're watching a movie on an airplane or in a waiting room, so the sound is off, you don't have your headphones. You're watching this and the first scene is this actor in a car, and the windshield is covered in McDonald's wrappers and empty water bottles and soda cans, pop cans. Comment below, do you say soda or pop? It's covered with receipts and candy wrappers. It shows the lifestyle of this person and what they eat and what they drink and what they buy. There's receipts in the passenger seat. Comment below what your first impression of this character would be. Your first impression is probably something like, this is not like the leading successful person. This person seems disheveled, they seem unorganized, they do not seem like they have their life together. This must be a movie about how this person's life turns around for the better because right now they're not doing so hot. You don't look at this person in their car and think, they're very successful. Now picture your car. What role in this movie of your life are you playing? Are you showing up disheveled, your food and orders and receipts and Coke cans on display? Or are you showing up as the lead character who has their life together? Successful people keep their cars clean because they don't know who they're going to run into, they don't know what client they're going to have to take on that day. And also, think about this, maybe you don't have clients in your car. Maybe you really just drive to work. How do you feel, again, when you have a nice dress on, a nice suit on, when you're put together with makeup on? Don't you feel better? You're more excited and you feel more prepared and ready to talk to whoever comes in your way. If your car, I do this because let's think about your car. If your car is clean, you're also gonna feel empowered. You can focus on that pep talk podcast that you're listening to and not thinking about, oh, I have to throw all this stuff away in my car. Oh, I still have to go deliver that thing. Oh, I never returned that sweater. Keeping your car clean is just like making the bed in the morning. It presents itself well. It's just like showing up with makeup for the day. It presents itself well. Successful people keep their car clean to keep their life efficient so they can focus on achieving their goals. So there you go, 5 things that successful people do to their space that you can apply to yours. Like this video if you are motivated to go clean your car. Comment below which tip you find the most daunting or the one you're most excited to go tackle. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel because the videos that I share here help you transform this life that you tolerate, that you're working really hard in, into one that is successful, that you treasure.